Hello everybody, how are you doing? Welcome back to Man City Unplugged, your very own Man City fan channel. Uh, it's it's Wolves versus City. I mean, couple of favorable results going for us. Nottingham Forest losing yesterday, which means I wouldn't say the top five race is easier still because it's probably Chelsea, Newcastle, Villa might come in. So there's still competition. This race is not over. It will not be over till the last ball is kicked, as Pep famously says. But Erling Haaland's back. I think it's Cunha and he hits it long over the top. Maybe the ball has gone to Old Trafford now. Who knows? Which is looking to be a likelier destination for Cunha, to be honest. Good footballer, I would say. That's it. Nothing more. The back four looks very, very settled, to be honest. Is consistently going with Diaz, O'Reilly, Nunez, and Guardiola. I think at least three of those four have been world class. I would say O'Reilly world class, Nunez world class, Guardiola world class. Diaz is not still at that range because for me, I mean, Jeremy Doku's on the ball. Jeremy Doku has to play that passing side. He's played that passing side. Probably Gundogan could have just cut it in. Haircut for Gundogan, and he looks much more smarter than before. But he could have just played it inside, if you ask me. Gundogan, I mean, that's been the difference between the Gundogan of 2 years before when he's left us and now. Gundogan of 2 years before was playing those little cheeky balls when the opponent expected him to go run straight, he would cut it back. Now I rarely see Gundogan cutting back and stuff. Bernardo Silva there, I have him in my fantasy team. Hopefully he hopefully scores a few goals, but I'll just check a few things if they're all right or not, and then on we can go. Gautam is here. Hey there, citizens. Hey Gautam, how are you doing? Must win match for us, Gautam. Must win match. Literally a must win match for us. Wolves have started off well, to be honest. Wolves have started off very well, I must say. That they're pressing aggressively, they're playing very well. I mean, since the Villa game, we have been really good. I mean that Villa when just I think it just lifted everyone up. And the Forest game, I agree, there were shots on the bar. Forest had chances in the second half, but that first half was as complete a domination as I've seen any team leave City do in the last 1 or 2 years. I would say we completely dominated them, but this Wolves team will be a test to our defense. We have been singing world class praises about our defense. Nunez has to this Cunha. I mean, if the defense does not concede a goal here today, then I think we can really agree that this defense has come of age. Excellent defending there again. Wonderful defending. What do you think about the Rodrigo thing, Gautam, by the way? Because rumors are coming out of it's not rumors. I think they are going to sell Rodrigo. There was always the problem. Vinicius, Mbappe, Rodrigo, Jude Bellingham. You cannot play all the four in that three positions. One has to go. And they'll most likely bring on a striker as well. So I think it's the Vinicius or Rodrigo who go out. And it's going to be defending right now. And Rodrigo, it seems, would go out. Would you go for him? Well defended, I would say. Was a shit corner, but anyway, well defended. Would you actually go for Rodrigo? Gautam says Rodrigo to City. I'm all in for it. That's a foul on Gundogan. And that's well done. Initially, I think the tackle was it from Josko Guardiola or was it from Nico O'Reilly? It was a very good tackle. I'm playing out from the back. A heavy touch from O'Reilly there. Look at Josko Guardiola there. Bernardo Silva. What a tackle that was from Bernardo Silva. All people. Gautam, I think one of the problems with Rodrigo to City is we are essentially looking to play a system. I think which is evident by what Pep has been doing in the last few games. We are essentially looking to play a system which does not have wingers. Because you look at the signings here made, Omar Marmoush is more of an inside forward than a winger. Of course, Erling Haaland plays as a striker, so Phil Foden's more of an inside forward than a winger. Though we play him as a winger, but he's more of an inside forward. Oscar Bob again more of an inside forward than a winger. I think except Savinho and Doku, we do not have. And Savinho has also shown he can play as an inside forward. What a ball that is! Jeremy Doku in space. Jeremy Doku one on one. It's Semedo. Good ball in, very good ball in from Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva is looking in great form, especially in the last 2-3 matches. He's been exceptional against Villa, against Forest here. But with Rodrigo, again, the problem is, I mean, now the counter argument could be that yes, Real Madrid have played Rodrigo more as a winger this season, but he has also played that striker role, especially when Bellingham was playing through the middle last season. Both Rodrigo and Vinicius Junior were cutting inside. We are almost playing as two forwards, split wide. So Rodrigo, you could argue, can play that role. Rodrigo likes to end up near the goal, near the mouth of the goal, like Raheem Sterling did, like Brennan Johnson did, like mostly Raheem Sterling did. So you could actually argue there's a counter argument. I probably think if you have to buy Rodrigo, I think I know there are different players. That is a good ball from Kevin De Bruyne, Omar Marmoush, Matthews Nunes. That's a foul on him and it's a free kick. I would want Marmoush to take it, and also James McAtee is also an inside forward. So everything that points out is we need a player who is an inside forward than a traditional winger. And yeah, I agree. Rodrigo fits that role. Rodrigo fits that role very well. But for me, if Rodrigo comes, in my ideal starting 11, I would have Haaland obviously starts as a striker. Marmoush off the left starts it. Probably, I think off the right, I think then Rodrigo starts. Maybe you're then expecting McAdee to move on. Maybe Oscar Bob and Rodrigo will have that competition to start off the right, probably. But yeah, Rodrigo would just be such. He would just set the cat on the PGMs. Bernardo Silva with the free kick. Decent free kick, I would say. Decent free kick, I would say. Gautam says, I rate him more than Savio at the moment. Let me just check the age of Rodrigo, which is I always keep on forgetting it. Rodrigo is 24 years of age, and I think now Trent has come. Even Goal.com has given an article that Rodrigo might actually leave, so there's more of a thing that he would leave. Savinho is 21 right now. Yes, he's just turned 21, I think 2 months back, so he's 21. Rodrigo is around 24, so I actually think 3 more years. I still think there's a talent in there in Savinho to actually develop. But you're right, at this moment, I think we cannot just have that fixation that yes, Savinho will do the job for me. Savinho can grow, but my concern is about the playing minutes for Oscar Bob. Gautam says, well, Arsenal want him as a Saka backup. If Arsenal want him as a Saka backup, then Gautam, we might well come here. He'll get more game time here. And he will not be a backup if he comes here. I'm just worried about Oscar Bob's game time, to be honest, with Rodrigo, and that's it. But just imagine Rodrigo, Marmoush, and Erling Haaland as your inside forwards, and Andrea Cambias on one side, and probably Theo Hernandez on someone on the other side. Of course, Nico O'Reilly is there. That would just be a brutal attacking this thing, and hopefully Florian Wirtz through the middle as KDB replacement. What is the future? I mean, that's a good ball. Nico Riley in there has to find Jeremy Doku, has to find Bernardo Silva. He has to find Jeremy Doku, and he does. He does. He does. He does. Not the way they want. But now here the question arises: the scenario where what does the future of Phil Foden hold amidst all this? Imagine you get a Florian Wirtz, you get a Rodrigo, and you get a Morgan Gibbs White, for example. Where does that is excellent. Nunez, almost an excellent ball. What a cross by Nunez. This guy's crossing is so good, Matthews Nunez. This is excellent from Matthews Nunez there. That crossing, especially in this system, if you have a fullback who is good enough crossing wise, which Andrea Cambiaso is the top five crosses in world football. Obviously, he's so good of both the feet. I just think the fullbacks next season will thrive in this system. It's just that we need to get the right fullbacks, to be honest. Gautam just Bob has been injured recently quite a lot, and again I have my trusty Kovacic gliding through Jeremy Doku. Just imagine the scenario where Doku, Rodrigo, and Haaland, both Doku and Rodrigo play as inside forwards. Their pace will also be something else. That's not a free kick for Wolves. Come on, Oscar Bob is interesting outcome, like you've told. Yes, he's been injured, but always when I think of Oscar Bob, I always get those flashes in mind. You know, the preseason and the Community Shield. He was absolutely brilliant, especially in the Community Shield. It was a lost cause which he and Bernardo Silva rescued. Of course, it's a different thing that a lot of fans ask why, but and it's been a curse for both him and Bernardo Silva. But again, that is excellent there from Matthews Nunez. City's defense has been put under a lot of stress. So with Oscar Bob, I think I would give him at least two more seasons, just because we've seen that flashes of talent, to be honest. And how he returns from injuries, of course, a concern. But I think I would give it to Oscar Bob. My only concern is with bad pass. Gadam says, well, today I've seen a lot of tweets regarding Words. His family wants Bayern, Words prefers Pep, and Leverkusen also want to sell him to City or Madrid than Bayern. Even I've actually seen it. The agent as well as the family, it seems, wants Bayern, but Words wants City, of course, because of Pep. And yeah, Leverkusen, for obvious reasons, doesn't want to sell to Bayern. It's an interesting triangle, but Avertixiki is also working. He's taken an extension and is working through us in this transfer window. So that's a good thing. It's a good thing having two transfer directors at least for this summer, because you do not want to get fixated on only one. Jeremy Doku, good ball in. He's looking sharp. The balls he's putting in today have been brilliant. Jeremy Doku, Bernardo Silva, Ruben Diaz. Just imagine a summer Gautam where it's words. You're of course getting Andrea Cambiaso. So imagine a summer where it's Andrea Cambiaso. Uh, the ball was on, but not a good ball. If that ball was played, then Jeremy Doku. Would have just gone on to it. But yeah, imagine a summer where you get Andrea Cambiaso, Diego Costa, Florian Wirtz, probably a Theo Hernandez, Rodrigo, one of Tejani Reinders, Morgan Gibbs White, or Hugo Larson, and also along with it, you're getting a fit Rodri and a fit Oscar Bob, and essentially a fit Foden for next season. That's essentially 9 signings that you've done this season, which is just fantastic. Wolves are on the attack again, but again well defended. The way they're defending spaces is exceptional. This defensive four are defending spaces, the positional sense is exceptional. Nunez is maybe looking a bit vulnerable of the lot, but is adjusted very well, to be honest. Gadam just buying offering total package of 250 million, 125 offer plus remaining money in wages. Well, they have Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne does very well there. Ball just gets away from him. I think it's been 150 million. O'Reilly does well there. I think it's for us they're quoting the price of 150 million, and I think salary will not be a concern, to be honest. We're ready to pay as much as possible because it's gonna be a Kevin De Bruyne replacement, of course. Kazam says, I have a doubt if Leverkusen wants to sell the player to us, and if Words might have second thoughts, then who has the final say, team or the player? I think Gautam, a situation like this, I think we can understand by what's happened with Riyad Mahrez, to be honest, because at that time, if you remember, we wanted to buy Riyad Mahrez. The player wanted to come to us, but Leicester did not want to, sell the player at that time. So Riyad Mahrez went on a strike and all, and the Leicester were forced to sell. I think generally in that situation, that's an excellent ball. Kevin De Bruyne, he has to score. Doku has to score. Curl it in. Man, curl it in. Was coming onto the ball so well there, Jeremy Doku. It's a corner facility, but what a ball that was inside, to be honest. Very good ball. Generally, I think Gautam, in that situation, what happens is the players form depth, the players form goes down generally because the player does not have his entire concentration there. He wants to move. So, now the club cannot say that, you know, why is there a dip in the players' form and all of that. So, the club generally sells. So, generally, wherever the player wants to go, that is where they end up in, to be honest. But here, the problem is not Leverkusen. The problem is the parents of Words. Because if it's like Words wants to go to City, Leverkusen wants to sell him to Bayern, then invariably what ends up is the player comes to the club he wants. But if the family wants to send him to an X place and the player wants to go to a Y place, then, then that's a strange situation. Haven't seen that situation till now, to be honest. Jeremy Doku, Kevin De Bruyne with a chance to cross the ball in. Could not keep it down. Omar Marmoush had the skill to keep it down. Gagam says apparently Morgan Gibbs White and Costa are done. I'm happy that Diego Costa is done, to be honest. But again, Gautam, what is your view now on Morgan Gibbs White? Because generally people here have had different opinions on Morgan Gibbs White. Even my opinion was different, but especially after seeing that Villa game, I thought maybe Gibbs White, due to his longer range passing, maybe Gibbs White was Wolves are broken through, Wolves are broken through, Wolves are broken through. Lucky escape, but I think that's offside. That's a lucky escape, but I think that is offside, to be honest. Again, legs in the midfield. Whenever this kind of scenario happens, legs in the midfield, you just cannot allow. That was tight, to be honest. That was borderline tight, to be honest. That was literally borderline tight, to be honest. But I think people have been telling about Diego Costa. Well, his shot stopping is probably not as elite as it should be, and stuff like that. He's having a bit of a weakness, especially in aerial situations. But for me, I think you do not find a better option distribution wise, at least, than Diego Costa right now, to be honest. Because I think of all the keepers out there, distribution wise, probably rate Diego Costa there on par with probably. I mean, Allison's distribution is not that good. I think he's one of the. I mean, Edison is there. He's like the god mode on FIFA. You cannot compare Edison to anyone else. But apart from Edison, I think Diego Costa is the best distribution wise goalkeeper that's available, to be honest. Now the offside line's been good. Gautam says, well, I know why words won't City. No offense to company, he's nowhere near elite coaching level. And also Gautam, no offense to Bundesliga. Bundesliga is nowhere near the competition of the Premier League, to be honest. And at such a young age, what words is around 20 years if I'm not wrong, and at such a young age, I think when you train under a world class coach like Pep, and you develop your game there, and you're testing yourself in probably the best league in world football at this moment. I think there's no better avenue than for this to grow. That's where words uh, want City. I'm surprised that Bayern are actually able to afford such a huge financial package. Gautam says his parents might be thinking old school. They want words to play for German national team as well. I mean, you just don't know what Bayern would have told their parents. Obviously, the representatives of Bayern would have had talks with their parents. So, I mean, representatives of City also would have had, but they are German and Bayern is German club. So you can just see what talks they would have had, and they would have probably been able to convince the parents of the project a bit better than they would have convinced words the project. I mean, what project is there at Bayern, to be honest, with Vincent Company? They're gonna win the Bundesliga most time just because of financial power and nothing else. But other than that, what else is there? Champions League, I don't think Company can do that. Probably they win a DFB Pokal and a Bundesliga. And also I think Gautam with Florian Wirtz, he's won the Bundesliga with Bayer Leverkusen, right? And when he compares the tactics of Xabi Alonso with Vincent Kompany, no offense to Kompany again, but I think Xabi Alonso is a much superior tactician than Vincent Kompany. So as a player, if you want to evolve, especially as a young player, you would like to go to a higher level of coach as well. And Pep Guardiola is a step above, maybe two, three steps above Xabi Alonso at this point of time, at least. Madrid is a different story again. So I do not see any incentive or ambition that is excellent there. That is excellent from City. I don't know how that messed. Wolves are all over City here. Wolves are all over City. Our defense is just holding up. I don't know how. That's excellent from Guardiola. The first strike. It's a corner for City. Come on, we cannot lose this at home to Wolves. Come on. You've defeated Villa, you've defeated Crystal Palace. Now don't do anything to Wolves, to be honest. What exactly? I don't know. Since the Nottingham Forest, this thing, I don't know what's happened to us. The luck has suddenly turned on our side since the Forest game. Forest hitting the post 3 4 times, and now I think it's the second time that Wolves have gone through and they messed it. It's the second narrow escape, to be honest. Gautam says, well, our pass to German players has been absolutely ecstatic, pure bliss. Somehow, if it does come this year, it won't be different. I probably thought, I mean, yes, with Gundogan, it's been with Gundogan, it's been good. Yes, with German, it's kind of been good, and also with the players who come from the German league, it's been good. Erling Haaland, Ilkay Gundogan, of course, Vincent Kompany. I think Pablo Zabaleta was from the German league, if I'm not wrong. A lot of players from the German league. We have had good this thing, but my regret is only a bit with Leroy Sané. Zero shots on target, approaching the half an hour mark at home. Jeremy Doku, I think Marmoush in the center is not being so effective. I think Marmoush of the left has been so effective in the last few matches. Just with Leroy Sané, I thought when we made him and when he was approaching his prime, he just left to Germany. And it's not that he. See, my regret is not Sané left us, but my regret is unfulfilled potential. This is excellent there. Bernardo Silva. Ah, because Leroy Sané did not explode like many people thought he would. I thought he would be one of the most elite wingers, best wingers in world football, but he was not. When he was at City, the way he and David Silva and he and Kevin De Bruyne were having that connection, it was just fantastic. Maybe I think Florian Wirtz is also looking at that and saying, well, Leroy Sané, look at what's happened to young players at Bayern. Maybe except Musiala. Young players have not been so successful at Bayern, to be honest. Kovacic, Josko Guardiol, Jeremy Doku. Almost there. Almost there. They're trying to play Konya in, to be honest. That's what their strategy is. Gautam says Wolves have won their last 5 matches. Momentum is clearly visible. But Gautam, if you see, they won their last 5 matches. They haven't played a single top half team, I think, in their last 5 matches. All of their victories have been against bottom half teams. Though I won't be surprised United if United is in that. But I think, if I'm not wrong, all of their victories have been against bottom half teams. I mean, the last time Wolves have won against a top half team was somewhere in November, I think October, November, something. I think that's why they're almost in those relegation spots. Kovacic, De Bruyne, but we just cannot afford to drop points here after doing all of the hard work. Jeremy Doku can get to De Bruyne's ball. Jeremy just put a ball in. Bernardo Silva almost getting in there. I think Haaland might be needed today, to be honest. Kovacic. Ah, almost. The last pass is not happening, to be honest. I think this game is written in the stars for someone like a James McAtee. I'll have to check if he's in substitutes bench, but James McAtee is. Jeremy Doku. Nico Riley, almost Nico Riley, almost. Uh, it's a free kick for City, but I just think this could be the day for Phil Foden, to be honest. But James McAtee, I think I'm surprised he's gone with Jeremy Doku against a team that parks the bus and plays so deep. Doku's strength is when there's space around because he's still learning how to play in tight spaces. Jeremy Doku misses the kick. We have not tested Jose Sa even once. That is the concern, to be honest. What a touch by Kevin De Bruyne. It's not even a foul. Omar Marmoush with the running. What a touch by Cunha there, but great defending by Matheus Nunes. Very good defending there by Matheus Nunes. Wolves have played well, to be honest. De Bruyne does very well there. Jeremy Doku. De Bruyne scores! Woo! Kevin De Bruyne scores! Woo! Come on, City! Woo! But the play there by Jeremy Doku was a superb. It is just one double play there by Jeremy Doku. Superb. KDB scores. KDB scores. Wow. Oh, Kevin De Bruyne. But Gautam, how much are we gonna miss him on nights like this? And that's the assist for Jeremy Doku there. I just hope no one's offside in the build-up. Of course, the cutback, so De Bruyne is not offside, but in the build-up, like yes, everyone's fine in the build-up, to be honest. And the play there by Jeremy Doku is outstanding. Gadam, what a play there by Jeremy Doku, right? Everything about this is Jeremy Doku. Look at what he does. He just almost feigns his body to go one way and then he goes the other way. This is wonderful there by Jeremy Doku. What what a wonderful thing by Jeremy Doku out there, to be honest. I mean, the goal is Kevin De Bruyne's, but everything else is of Jeremy Doku's over there. Superb by Jeremy Doku. Wow, look at the talent there of Jeremy Doku. I mean, little bit of space, and this guy is just superb. And did you hear it, Gautam, that Jurgen Klopp is Jurgen Klopp is going to Real Madrid. Gautam says Afed Doku is the best in the world. Again, fitness is the problem. Fitness has been the problem with Jack Grealish. Josko Guardiola just with little bit of a loose touch. Hakim underscore FC. I'm sorry, I'll have to delete your comment. Get a life, man. Get a life. If you want to engage in discussion, please engage in great discussion like we have been doing. So I'm just gonna block you now. Keem FC. Gautam, just Madrid, are you sure? I mean, lot of links, Gautam, lot of links. I mean, clearly Ancelotti is out. The links are Xabi Alonso. Of course, it's Xabi Alonso, but I think a lot of these Madrid outlets they've been putting out Jurgen Klopp to Real Madrid. I mean, there's been a really good source. I don't know who is it. I just can't remember. Of course, Marca is a shit source, but there have been a couple of good sources who have told that Jurgen Klopp is very close to come to Madrid. I think Xabi Alonso, what they say is Xabi Alonso and Jurgen Klopp are two of the main runners. Mostly it will be between one of those two. There's actually a view around Real Madrid. There's actually a view around Real Madrid that Xabi Alonso was their preferred choice, but the view is Florentino Perez did not think this season will end so badly because literally Barcelona are in with a chance of winning a treble there. I think they won the Copa del Rey. They've humiliated Madrid and won the Copa del Rey. They've humiliated Madrid in both of their El Clasicos. That too with such a young team. And now in the Champions League, I think it's very touch and go with Inter. Even if they don't go and win the Champions League, it's almost like such a young team winning a double is also an outstanding achievement and humiliating. I think 3-4 times they've humiliated Madrid this season. At least 3 times they've humiliated Madrid. So there's a line of thought around Madrid that Florentino Perez is looking at someone experienced than a Xabi Alonso to come and someone who can compete with Hansi Flick because they're not now sure that if Xabi Alonso can come in and compete with someone like Hansi Flick in Barcelona will get stronger next season as well than what they are right now. The finances are improving, so that's the reason around Jurgen Klopp. Gautam says one of the tweets I saw yesterday, Barca planning for 2026 Haaland deal. I think Gautam it will be 2036 and we'll maybe be talking the same thing. They in getting Haaland. I think their best choice obviously was getting Julian Alvarez. Just imagine that front three Gautam of Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, and Julian Alvarez playing strike in the center with Pedri, Gavi, and one of, I think it's Pau Subarasi or someone who's been excellent there in that DM role. Just imagine the front three and that midfield three, Pedri, Gavi, and one of the midfield sensation who's been playing there. That would absolutely be sensational. I've not followed much of Barcelona's matches, but I just saw that Inter versus Barcelona. I'm just amazed. The guys are 2-0 down and they're playing as if we'll get 3 goals in the next 5 minutes. And this is against bloody Inter you're talking about, one of the best defensive teams. I think Inter in the knockout games have not conceded a single goal. From open play, I think they've conceded 1 goal or something. Astonishing record. And these guys, these kids are hitting three against them like it's nothing. Especially that guy Yamal, I mean, wow. Rafinha, I don't know what he's turned into after going there. There's a ball on there. There's a ball on to Matthews Nunes. De Bruyne has to find Nunes, and he does. Can Nunes put a cross in? Kovacic, Kevin De Bruyne, Jeremy Doku. Kevin De Bruyne does absolutely well there. This is wonderful from Kevin De Bruyne. Throw in for City. Gautam says UCL semis are absolutely interesting. PSG might miss Dembele in the second leg. He has been reported to a hamstring issue. That will be a huge miss. But I just thought PSG could have killed Arsenal off in that first leg. Arsenal, maybe they had a few half chances, maybe a good one from Martinelli, but otherwise I think PSG had two clear-cut chances through on goal when it was Bradley Bracola through on goal and Gonzalo Ramos through on goal hits the bar. I think 3-0 and Arsenal are definitely out, but 1-0 you just never know. They'll get a chance. I think Nuno Mendes was very good against. What a ball that is. Nico Riley, Nico Riley has to pass it back. Jeremy Doku, what a run by Nico Riley beyond Doku. It's fascinating the way Pep is using his fullbacks. The fullbacks are the ones who are doing literally everything, literally all the heavy lifting. The runs which Nico Riley and Nunez are making beyond Marmoush and Doku are just amazing. City are all over Wolves now. Jose Sa cannot play out from the back. He's just not that good with his feet. Matthews Nunez. Gautam says and the Barca kids will be a treat to watch. But it's San Siro, it's Inter. Inter have scored 3 goals against Barca at their home, literally. So I think both the games will be fascinating more because of where they are being played. San Siro and Paris, I think two grounds which are not easy. But then the advantage with Barcelona is the kids do not have any baggage. Otherwise, Inter and Barcelona, huge history of Inter being eliminated by, sorry, Barca being eliminated by Jose Mourinho's Inter, that famous match where Pep Guardiola lost to Mourinho and all that. Kevin De Bruyne. So both the ties will be fascinating. Just this thing that we have not been in it. That's the thing. I would have loved City to have been drawn against those Barca kids, to be honest. That would have been very, very good, especially with Jeremy Doku. I mean, my fascination is Jeremy Doku against the high line of Barcelona. That would just and Haaland as well. Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, Nunez. I think should have gone for the shot. Now City are having a stranglehold over Wolves. Can we get one more before the break? Maybe we can't because that is half time. Well done. Wolves were good in the first half, but then in the first 15-20 minutes, but then City came roaring back. Gautam says Klopp versus Flick will be too much fun. You already know whose side I'm gonna be. I have a soft corner for Barca. Even I have a soft corner for Barca, Gautam. I have a soft corner for Barca, to be honest. I mean, and also with the recent thing, I was never a Real Madrid fan and stuff. I always had a soft corner for Messi, to be honest. And Messi and even Iniesta as well. Xavi, I loved how they played. And this guy. Carlos Puyol was one of my favorite defenders. Really loved him when I started watching football. Carlos Puyol was excellent. What an underrated defender he was. Never gets mentioned in the same in the same category of a Maldini, Nesta, and all of those things. But for me, Carlos Puyol is one of the greatest defenders up there. When I have a soft corner for Barca, obviously. More so with our rivalry with Real Madrid, even more. Never liked Madrid, but now I do not like them even more, to be honest. Bayaji says not a convincing lead. Lucky not to have conceded two within half an hour. Bayaji, you know who is our lucky charm? Morgan Gibbs White. Since we have played that match, the luck has just turned on its head. Three posts against Nottingham Forest. Again, an open goal, and the Wolves player was not able to reach. And another post here. with I think it was it Cunha who struck the post in this match, and that crazy frantic clearance from Guardiola. So four posts in 135 minutes of football, roughly. This is fantastic. By Jesus, forget everyone. Sign the goal post. If only we could sign it. If only we could sign it. But But I mean, honestly, the first 30 minutes, like Baya just said, the first half an hour, everything was about goals. And then we grew back into the game. See, yes, we've not been good in this half, especially for 30 minutes, and then we had a very good, 15 minutes and stuff. But one thing that has changed about this team throughout this season, especially, is I mean, in the early parts of the season, okay, leave before Rodri's injury, where we were sort of doing well, but from October, mid October sort of thing, whenever we went goal down in a match or whenever we were not playing well, you never came back. City had of us good 5-10 minutes early on in the season. We were not playing well. The confidence never came back. One thing which has been very good in the last sort of starting of March, in the last one and a half month, is we have not played well. Opponent have been dominating. Sometimes the opponent has gone one up, two up, like Crystal Palace did, like Leighton Orient did, like who else have we played? I mean, a lot of sides have done it. Still, we have come back. You compare this to what happened against Brighton. We were 1-0 up at home. I think early December or late December, sort of. We were 1-0 up, went to 1-1, we lost 3-1. What happened at PSG? 2-0 up. This was in February, 2-0 up. PSG score one goal, we concede two more in the next 5 minutes. Sporting Lisbon 1-0 up, they play well 1-1, lose the match 5-1. I think so. This is a very good improvement I see in this team, that we have come back even though we have not been playing well, even though we have been shit. That confidence is good. But again, Bayaji, the thing is, the obvious thing is lack of legs in the midfield. Again, he's literally playing the Holy Trinity there. Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Gundogan. With the Holy Trinity in there, I don't think you can compete against the runs of Cunha. Look at who's running there. Cunha, Balagrade. I think Montes is also playing there. I know Semedo, right now making those runs from deep. So literally the midfield is getting flooded. So I think again the core of this problem is, I mean, the core of this problem was exposed when I think it was Cunha who releases a ball and two Wolves players were through, and one of the Wolves player, I think it was Samedo, who doesn't shoot and gives a pass, and just narrowly misses and stuff. So so I mean that just highlights the problem this season: lack of legs in the midfield, absolute lack of legs in the midfield. To be honest, that's why you look at the players which we have been linked to. Like Gatham has mentioned, Costa is done. I've been hearing that Morgan Gibbs White is almost done. Bayaji says Marmoush made several runs, but none of them interested. Again, Bayaji, I think Marmoush's best position is off the left hand side, because I mean the wing play from Doku has been exceptional. I think if it's this composed, I think he'll just be superb. But I think why they're not playing that balls into Marmoush especially is wonderful goal by Doku. They're just showing the replay there. Yeah. So I think when Marmoush is literally playing centrally, to be honest, I know he's drifting outward, but generally he's playing centrally there. I think they're afraid to put those play those through balls, because once Wolves have the turnover, literally you have Cunha, you have Belgrade, you have Montesi, you maybe have a Nelson Semedo, running through on you, and the midfield ain't got the legs to make those runs back. So what they're doing is they're choosing the safe option. They're going out wide to Doku. Doku makes those runs. Doku puts a cross in. So when the cross is defended, there won't be an immediate turnover. The midfield is much more stable. The rest positions are much more stable. I think that is the reason why they're not playing the ball through. Because when Rodri was there, you play the ball through, even if you turn over. I think you know that Rodri is shielding that defense and can do and does something. But Kovacic Kovacic does not have that ability like that Rodri has. Not his mistake, but you look at it there. Kovacic for the Wolves' first chance where two players go through on goal, and it was a strange pass. It was a bad pass, to be honest. And the Wolves player was onside as well. Look at Kovacic misses tackle. I mean, if you analyze in that situation, the chance of Belgrade which they're showing right now, if you analyze where Rodri would be, Rodri could have been much more back, to be honest. I think literally I'm happy with this defense. I'm in a way happy with this attack as well. Midfield is the thing where the two chances for goals, it's a direct consequence of what's happened in the midfield. Your midfield cannot be so loose that someone can escape four challenges and send two people through. Your midfield cannot be so loose that someone pings a 70-yard ball to the other end and you're not able to defend it. It just cannot be that way. Gautam says, well, United versus Spurs in the Europa League final, the winner gets Champions League football. Gautam says, even after such a shit season, one of them will be having UCL. you know, Gautam, what will be the best scenario? The best scenario will be, I mean, they're showing some stat, most successful dribbles in a season, and Jeremy Toku is having 101 dribbles this season. That's some sort of record or something. The graphic just disappeared before I went in. So, I mean, one of my friends told me that if Spurs win the Europa League, uh, I'll just check. He actually told a very, very interesting thing, to be honest. I'll just check. He actually told a very, very interesting thing. That is, I'll have to uh, share it with you. Yes, what is told is Chelsea wins the Conference League, Spurs win the Europa League, City win the FA Cup, Liverpool win the league, and Mikel Arteta, assuming Mikel Arteta does not go through or win the Champions League, and Mikel Arteta is still in the phase 8 of his development, and literally all the other managers have won something or the other this season. What a hilarious scenario that would be. Just imagine, guys. Just imagine. Chelsea winning the Conference League, Spurs winning the Europa League, City winning the FA Cup, Slot winning the Champions League, and sorry, Premier League, and still Mikel Arteta is in his phase 8 of his development. Wow, that would be absolutely hilarious. I'm just visualizing the reaction of Arsenal fans. What would it be if they go trophyless and see Spurs win the Europa League? You know, what will be more hilarious? More hilarious will be that if Spurs win the Europa League and get into the Champions League, and Arsenal somehow fuck up the the top five, and they finish outside of the top five, and they don't win the Champions League. Just imagine Arsenal after having such a season will not get the Champions League next season, and Spurs will be in the Champions League next season. After such a shit season, that would be the ultimate hilarious contest. Wow. Gautam, just good evening. Gautam, what I've imagined, what is the scenario I've imagined? I've imagined Aston Villa versus Arsenal in the Champions League semi-finals, and Unai Emery, after defeating Arsenal in the second leg, comes to the press conference at the Emirates, and he says, "Good evening, all Arsenal fans." That is the scenario I've imagined. Just imagine how that would be. Wow. But what do you honestly think about the second leg? Arsenal versus PSG. Both the legs are interesting, but Arsenal versus PSG, PSG leading 1-0. No, there's no Dembele, but it's at Paris. Very interesting tie. Would go both ways, to be honest. Gautam says Unai would be the happiest in the universe. Just imagine Unai Emery getting Champions League in that fifth spot at the expense of Arsenal. Imagining Arsenal lose the next two, three games. Rajat is here. Hey Rajat, how are you doing? He says, "Hi, yo man. Hey Rajat, how are you doing, mate? How's everything going?" And what do you think of the match? I honestly thought, Gautam, that if uh, Atletico Madrid went into that quarterfinal instead of Real Madrid, they would have defeated Arsenal. But Gautam says Xavi is coming to Spurs. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. I mean, never rated Xavi as much, but Spurs deserve coaches like these. You know what Xavi will do? I mean, Xavi has some hilarious records of not promoting youth well at Barcelona. There are some hilarious stories coming out, especially about Xavi. Bayaji says if Arsenal and RCB win, then I don't want to live anymore. Ah, I mean that scenario could also be possible. RCB. I mean, let's just hope that doesn't happen. Let's just hope. I mean, Bayaji, the first thing is let's just hope RCB doesn't qualify in the top two, which means that they'll have to play qualifier and eliminator, and I mean they'll have to play two playoff matches, and I think RCB cannot come through that. So I don't know, but for me, a great couple of 3 4 weeks. Am I winning? City winning. Am I winning? City winning. Am I winning? City winning. And Rohit Sharma coming to form. I mean, Ajak says, I'm all right. To be honest, bro, what's happening? It's actually. I mean, it's not been a wonderful season to be honest, Rajat, for us. But we are doing well since the last 2 months, and to be honest, that Villa game just lifted everyone up. That Villa game just pumped everyone up into orbit. To be honest, Gautam says Liverpool going for Isak. I don't think. I don't think Newcastle will sell Isak, to be honest, Gautam. I mean, there's a theory going around that Arsenal and Liverpool might go for Isak. I don't think Arsenal have, both Arsenal and Liverpool, they have the financial muscle to pull off that deal, I think, because Then the news is Newcastle will ask for 150 for Isak. This is excellent there. Omar Marmoush cutting in of the right. Not his strongest, but Kevin De Bruyne, Nico O'Reilly. Marmoush just doesn't look natural cutting in of the right there, to be honest. And then Jeremy Doku doesn't look a natural cutting in of the right again. Everybody wants to play left. So I mean the reference is almost 95 million for Julian Alvarez. If Julian Alvarez can go for 90 million, Isaac, especially after this season, I think Isaac will be around 150, 160, and I do not think either of Liverpool or Arsenal will play 150, 160 million there. Unless yes, Salah is staying, unless they sell Darwin Nunes for 100 million to Saudi, which is not possible, I think. I think Bruno Guimaraes for me goes for 60, 70 million. If anyone has to go and Isaac probably stays. There's news that they might sell Livramento, so I don't see Isaac going, to be honest, because no one can pay that. This thing, Nico Riley coming on the inside now, Jeremy Doku on the outside. Nico Riley, Kovacic is doing very well. He has to be spot on over there. Good face for City. Matthews Nunez, Bernardo Silva, wonderful. Kevin De Bruyne, Omar Marmoush does very well. Bernardo Silva, can he do something? Great ball into Jeremy Doku. They've double dip on him. He's still done very well there. Ball goes out. YG says, I would rather promote Nico to midfield than spending 100 million on Morgan Gibbs White. I think it won't be 100 million, I think, by Aji. It will be 70 million on Morgan Gibbs White. I think, especially after the Villa game, where I saw our long range passing was shit. I, I just looked up some strengths and stats of Morgan Gibbs White and I went through some of his clips and all. The best thing about Morgan Gibbs White is his long range passing is one of the best in the league. It just goes so underrated, but unnoticed. I don't know why, but the way he's able to pick out those longer range passes. I think there were one or two glimpses of what he did with Anthony Elanga against us. Wonderful ball in. It's just too far. So Morgan Gibbs White's longer range passing is very very good. Can just it's almost Jorginho-esque when Jorginho was at Napoli and early on when Pep wanted him, if you remember that when we got Rodri because we couldn't get Jorginho and Fred. Jorginho is called a pass master where he can just nick those passes and so I think we were after such profile of a player to be honest, but we were somehow not able to get those profile of players. So I think that is the reason why Morgan Gibbs White is kind of being prioritized to be honest. And I think the strengths of Nico that is excellent defending again. I think excellent awareness there by Matthews Nunez. So the strengths of Nico Gonzalez for me are not long range passing. The strengths of Nico Gonzalez is more like keeping the things ticking is good in that midfield area and all of those stuff. Is good as a CDM and all of those things. The strengths of Morgan Gibbs White, sorry, the strengths of Nico Gonzalez is lot of Morgan Gibbs White, I think. And also, I think Bayaji, they are not buying Morgan Gibbs White for the attacking midfield position, I think, because a lot of fans seem to think that we might be buying Morgan Gibbs White as a De Bruyne replacement. Pep will leave tomorrow if we buy Morgan Gibbs White as a De Bruyne replacement. I know Forrest plays him as a 10, but Pep knows he's not a 10, especially in a City team. He's an 8, physically very good. His work rate is just, excellent work rate. Just a level below Bernardo Silva probably because I think Bernardo Silva's work rate in general when he was at his peak is the best in the world. So I mean his interceptions are all very good and his long range passing is exceptional. He likes to play the ball off the air. He closes his pressing is very very good. He initiates the press if you see for Nottingham Forest. So his pressing, his tenacity is very good. So these are the qualities I think of Morgan Gibbs White. Why Pep wants him, to be honest. That is excellent from Omar Marmoush. Wow, what a piece of skill by Omar Marmoush there. Don't know if it will lead to something, but this is wonderful. Kovacic, can he strike from there? He has to give it to Jeremy Doku. Jeremy one on one. They're not doubling up on him yet. They have doubled up on him now, but Kevin De Bruyne, Mario Kovacic. There's a ball on. That's an excellent ball. Nunez. Marmos is down, injured. I hope it's not a long-term injury. Rajat says, what is the score prediction? Now it is 1-0. Rajat, I don't predict the scores here on this channel. I don't think any of us do. We honestly don't want to jinx anything, so we don't predict the scores. Rajat says, maybe back later, it may take 30. Sure, mate, sure, you're always welcome because we have some great discussions here. So you're always welcome to be part of the to be a part of this wonderful community. Gautam says every IPL team would curse DC for the shambolic three runouts, which led to the resurgence of MI. Gautam, I think we have discussed it before. MI is my favorite team. I mean, I was like because we were what 4-1-4. We played 5 matches, lost 4-1-1. We lost that to Delhi. I think it would have the comeback would have been impossible. Not because mathematically, but mentally as well. The players would have been down. You know what turned the match? People say it's the runouts, but I'll tell you what turned the match. There was dew all around. Karun Nair was just striking at 230 and something. He was like hitting Bumrah for fours and sixes. Mitch Sandner with a wet ball bowls the ball of the season, at least in the IPL, where it pitches left arm spinner pitches on the middle and Karnal defends and it hits the off stump. I think that ball just lifted everyone up. Ball was wet. How could he even produce that? Karnal was shocked. DC was shocked with that ball. People say those runouts, but for me that ball. And also another instance of what Mitch Sandner did to Vipraj Nigam, in that match when they needed 27 of the final 3 overs. Vipraj Nigam hits Sandner for a 6 and a 4 and 10 runs. And Sandner, any other spinner would have fired a 10. Sandner flights it, invites Vipraj Nigam again, and Vipraj Nigam comes stump out. I think these two instances just bamboozled everyone. Bamboozled DC, to be honest. And then the runouts were just a consequence of this. It just gave hope, a game where you were literally out of it and you come back, and it just lifted everyone. But I think the game before as well, RCB won that, and Virat Kohli was just kind of shouting, and you have Hardik Pandya literally almost close to tears, and Rohit Sharma sitting there. Those two incidents I think shaped MI's season. But yeah, you're right. Without those three runouts, it would have been much simpler. And you look at what's happened to DC themselves after those three runouts. DC have lost 4 of their last 6 matches. Now their qualification is not so secure. Wolves on the attack here. First, let us make our top 5 qualification secure. Good defending again. We need to score one more. Need to score one more. Nico Riley. Another question, Gautam, about Matthews Nunez. Would you? We are signing Cambia, so that deal is almost done. So, would you still prefer Nunez as your first choice fullback, or would you straight away bring in Cambiaso because he's been world class? Nico Riley with the mistake again. He's done 1 or 2 mistakes season. I mean, 1 or 2 mistakes in this game. Again the post. We might as well sign the post. Again two posts. What have they done to the post? What have they done to the post? Again the post. Again the post. What have they done, Gautam, to the post? Bayaji, you are right. We might as well post. We should plate the post in gold. Gautam says post FC jersey number 22. It's literally 5 times post in literally 1.5 football game. A little more than that, probably. I need Nico Riley with the mistakes in this game, to be honest. That's a second mistake. But then how he responds to it will be very, very interesting. Nico Riley is going out. Akanji is coming in. This means Josko Guardiola at left back. Oh my god. Is this only for this game, or will he actually play Guardiola at left back now throughout? Because Guardiola at centre back was just amazing. Was just a glimpse. I don't know. Again, the save from Edison has been good. And then he hits the post. Space. So the pass was to Jeremy Doku. I don't know what Josko Guardiola did there. Now Matthews Nunes has to retreat. That's not a penalty. Come on. Now the game is going end to end. This is where Jeremy Doku, Jeremy time. Kadam Jeremy time. You know Gautam why Jeremy Doku started? Because last time, if you remember, Pep brought on Jeremy Doku when we were not even discussing about him. So this time Pep thought, oh, these guys are not discussing about Jeremy Doku. So when will I know to bring him? So I will bring him, I will start him. What do you say, you and Ma? Yes, Pep. Yes, you're right. You have to start Jeremy Doku because these guys are not talking about Jeremy now. So how do we know when to bring him? Puzzle. Latham says game is opened up. I think one more goal, it will be even more opened up and it will be perfect for Erling Haaland. Because I don't think we want it to be as much opened up at 1-0, to be honest. Latham says Haaland warming up. I think when Haaland comes on, it will be interesting to see. Jeremy Doku there with the ball. Jeremy Doku running into open space. Jeremy Doku going through, but I know he's double. Please support, please come in. Jeremy Doku cutting inside. That's not a penalty, but to wow, when Jeremy Doku goes on those mazy runs, it's just something else. Wow, what potential this guy has! Fantastic potential. Andre, the midfielder, he's playing for Wolves. If you remember, Andre, we were linked to him at the start of the season. Andre from Brazil. I think he plays for Flamengo, Fluminense, I don't remember, but he plays for one of those clubs. We were linked to him heavily at the start of this season, to be honest. Jeremy Doku, good net back from Omar Marmoush, Kevin De Bruyne. I think probably there was a little bit of a window where Doku could have played Marmoush in, probably not picking up the run of Marmoush. De Bruyne as well, we are pressing very well here. Just keep the ball. That's all. Wolves are pressing. Lure Wolves into the press and play Doku through. That's Guardiol coming in his left back position now. Gautam says we have so many quick transition players in the attack. Only if he played counter-attacking play side. The passing's been gone, Gautam. The long range passing is not good. The short range creative passing is just absent. De Bruyne is trying his best, but this is not prime Kevin De Bruyne. Time and age don't wait for anyone. Time and tide wait for none, like they say. And also, I think they're a bit. I won't use the word scared because City is not scared of anything, but they're thinking the transitions will be brutal if I play a through ball. You're Kevin De Bruyne or Bernardo Silva, Gundogan having a chance to put a ball through, and you're thinking, what if this is intercepted? I'll have to run back, and we ain't got the legs. They'll be thinking this midfield ain't got the legs to run back. That's the big concern. Kovacic, Bernardo, De Bruyne, Gundogan, they don't have the legs to run back. I think it's another big reason why he wants Morgan Gibbs White in there. Rodri, Morgan Gibbs White, Florian Wirtz. That midfield, for example, has the legs to run back. Uh, Decent corner, even though the keeper caught it, to be honest. Jose Sa. Wolves are on the transition, they're on the attack. That's a corner, well defended there. Wonderful defending from Matthews Nunes. He's been excellent in this game. Matthews Nunes. We have to score the next goal, guys. We have to score the next goal. It's almost the game is going in a slow pace mode, if you might ask me. It's a corner for Atnuri. Gautam says, I don't know why most people say that Tiki Taka is the most pleasing, but for me, I really prefer quick, direct take on and pacey transitions. That's thrilling to the core. Remember last year, Diwali City, I mean, last year, Diwali, all of the matches were just bang, bang. The Spurs one I remember was around the Diwali time. That was also 4-3, 3-3, whatever, 3-3, I think. Chelsea one was also 4-4. That is wonderful there from Marmoush. Good defending from Wolves. I think for me, Gautam, for me, the best style is, what we played in that Centurions, this thing. It was not pure tiki taka like how Pep used to play with his Barcelona side with Xavi, Busquets, and all. I don't think that style exists now because of how teams have figured out to play that style, especially Mourinho's Inter and Real Madrid and all, and how Bayern destroyed the tiki-taka style, when I think in 12, 11, 12 in Pep's last Barcelona season. But I think the Centurion style for me is very, very good with two attacking midfielders, David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne, with Sonny and Sterling, two wingers running through, Sergio Aguero in there, or even a false nine, but I prefer a striker. For me, that style, that year was superb. We were just devastating in counters, and we were not just doing tiki taka passing and all, we were fast as well. Josko Guardiola Doku did exceptionally well there. Nunez has made a run beyond. Look at that. De Bruyne gives a cross and it almost falls to the Wolves player and they're ready for the transition. I think that is the problem. What a piece of skill from Jeremy Doku. Wow. This guy is so entertaining there, Jeremy Doku. Superb. Omar Marmoush is. I mean, can we defend like this? Long way to go in the game. Josko Guardiola can play in Jeremy Doku. Yes, he's played in Jeremy Doku. Look at the pace of Jeremy Doku go. Ah, just needed someone like Erling Haaland in there. Marcus is starting things today, but wow, what a transition, right? Just imagine Morgan Gibbs White in there having the ability to play those balls like that to your Jeremy Dokus and Erling Haalands. It's for that simple reason. I think his long passing ability that we have to buy Morgan Gibbs White. And another strength of Morgan Gibbs White is crossing. His crossing ability and long passing ability are just out of this world. When will he introduce Haaland? That's a big question mark, to be honest. Edison, Jeremy Doku, Josko Guardiol. Can he find Doku there? Well, he can. You betcha he can. Kevin De Bruyne is a pass out wide. Marmoush can keep it in. Nunez has made a very good run in the inside channel. Akanji, so they are controlling the possession a bit better now, especially with Akanji having that ability to play those diagonal balls onto the wing. Kovacic with an innoxious shot, to be honest. Pep knows the match ain't over. That's a foul in City's favour. Well done, Jeremy Doku. Doku is playing the game for Pep and City here. Edison trying some tricks there. Almost doing well. You almost feel you need a Haaland introduction to score the next goal, to be honest. You almost feel that. That's a foul on Bernardo Silva, I think. Matthews Nunez, actually. The foul was on Matthews Nunez. No, it was on Bernardo Silva. Nunez was giving him cover there, but I think that's a red card. That's a stamp. I think that's a red card. I think that's a red card. That is a red card, I think. I know VR is checking. I think that's a red. That's a red. Look at it. The stamp. That's a clear red. Look at it. When you freeze it there in that moment, that's a red. If you ask me, that is a red. That is a red. They've not given it, but I thought probably maybe slow motion angles don't do justice. Akanji was almost caught there. A bit of rustiness, if you ask me. We know Akanji can have those moments like he had against Spurs. City were leading 1-0. Ortega saved us. Against Leeds all those years back, I do remember. Good ball in. Josko Guardiol. Jeremy Doku. Not a good ball in, to be honest. It's just seeming that the first half went by a bit quickly, but the second half is seeming like it will take centuries. It's taking centuries, to be honest. Jeremy Doku in there. He has to choose the outside option. Ah, there was a great option on the outside. I think it was Josko Guardiol. He could have chosen him there when he had two people doubled up on him. I think that is what Doku needs to learn. And now look at it, Spurs are on the counter. Sorry, I'm telling Spurs, Wolves are on the counter. Guardiol is down. Guardiol is down. That's a foul in City's favor. Well done, Josko Guardiol. I think Guardiol's just itching there to return to all action, to be honest. Coming back from the centre back spot where he's not granted as much action. That was a red, I think. That was a clear red. Was it Matthew Cunha who did that? That was a clear red. I mean, the more I see that challenge on Bernardo Silva, don't know what you guys think, but for me that was a clear red. It is an almost slipped there, to be honest. Addison kicks it out. Maybe they could have waited for the ball because there's so much space in there. I think it could have played that ball a little bit more wider, to be honest. Jeremy Doku was through over there, almost he was through over there. Kenji does very well. Kenji again does very well. And now the space for Jeremy Doku to run into. Jeremy one on one. Come on, Jeremy, go. He ignores the run. Gundogan, I think. Edison was so calm and cool over there in that instance, to be honest. Kevin De Bruyne. That's a throw into City. When will he introduce Haaland? Big question mark, to be honest. Bernardo Silva, I think, could have maybe played the ball, but yeah, he's done well to take the foul over there. No substitutions from Pep. Omar Marmoush with the ball. Jeremy Doku. Gundogan does well to play it back, but it's a maze. Playing out now is a maze. Look at it. How well Wolves have. They're just structured to nick the ball, but we do absolutely brilliantly. Give the ball to them. A throw in, but I think when you win the ball so high up, just give it to Jeremy Doku in all of that space. That's all I would say. But for me, the best moment in the run in, I'm sure it's for all of you as well, sort of the last month or so, and we're actively competing for this top five spot, has been the Villa game, the Nunez goal at the end. I think with Kovacic, it almost works on Murphy's Law. If something has to go wrong, then it will go wrong. Something like that. Yes, the substitutions are in, but there's no Erling Haaland in that. Rico Lewis is coming on, Phil Foden's coming on, and James McAtee is coming on. It's the young brigade that is coming on, to be honest. Marmos is off. I guess KDB will be off. Played well, Marmos, I would say. He's made the runs and they have not supplied him, so that's the thing, but he's played very well, Marmos. Good goal there from KDB. Doku assist. De Bruyne, Marmoush, Gundogan off. Literally, it almost feels like with Foden and Lewis, and I think McAtee will play probably off that left, sorry, of the right hand side, to be honest. Is literally made the midfield younger by so many. That is wonderful from Bernardo Silva. If he lost the ball there, that's it. That was the goal. That was the match. What a piece of skill by Bernardo Silva that was. This role the years back. This is excellent from Bernardo Silva. Wow. For a moment, I thought the Wolves are going to make it three forwards. It was a 3v1 at the back, literally. It's a foul in City's favor. And we are taking a lot of chances. That's the thing. We're taking a lot of chances here. Wonder why he's not bringing Nico Gonzalez in there and just offer more protection to the back four. I don't know why. I don't know why he's not doing that. Santiago Bueno is coming on. He's the youth product. What a name. Santiago Bueno. Rico Lewis does absolutely well. Wow, look at Rico Lewis there. He's magical. He's magical with the ball at his feet. I don't know how Rico Lewis skipped past three or four Wolves players over there. Don't commit yourself. Don't commit yourself. Guardiola does exceptionally well. That's a foul in City's favour. Guardiola does exceptionally well there. Still, I mean, at least 10 minutes with added time, so Uh, Wolves with the throw in. I think we need Grealish at least here to control. I mean, no one's able to control the tempo of the game. That's the biggest problem here. Yes, the game's opened up. The game's opened up. Probability suddenly becomes 50-50 of both you and the opponent scoring, and you do not want that to happen ideally. Foden's done well there. We bounce well, to be honest. Kovacic. That's a Wolves throw in, I think. Great take by the Wolves player. That is excellent work there by Kovacic. Maybe Rico Lewis should have held on to the ball there, but we have defended that situation well, to be honest. The time just doesn't seem to end today. I don't know why. The long ball was not good enough. And City get time to breathe. But Wolves have played well. Wolves have played very, very well, I have to say. There was a chance to put it wide, but that would have required De Bruyne kind of quality, or maybe a Matheus Cunha as well. No, De Bruyne kind of quality. That's it. I think that's a corner for City. Yes. No, it's a goal kick, to be honest. How many minutes of added time will he give? I'm expecting +5. Yeah. I silently thought it would be +3, but +5. So this game ain't over, guys. This game ain't over at all. That's a Wolves free kick. Ah, these are all tense moments. 4 more minutes to go. Kovacic needs to be stronger over there. Kovacic needs to be stronger. He cannot allow the player to turn. That's very well done by Jeremy Doku. He's been outstanding today, Jeremy Doku. Wow. This has been outstanding there. I think Kovacic is not a CDM. What this game tells me is Kovacic is not a CDM. Pep knows this game ain't over yet. That's well done. In a city throw in. Nico Gonzalez is primed to come on. Kovacic is off. I think this is a good move, even though it's quite late. The match 3 minutes is not quite late. Almost 3 minutes will be there. I think he'll add on 15-20 seconds extra. The substitution. We have managed the game very well. Yes, there's been that chance there, but apart from that, I think at least these 3 minutes, we have managed it very well, I would say. That's a free kick to City, and you can bet that it will be a short free kick. Look at that, Pep is telling short free kick. Is indicating something, probably that is a signal for a short free kick. I don't know. That's a throw into Wolves now. Didn't go as per the plan. Still a minute there, to be honest, including the 15-20 seconds of the substitution that the ref will add on. Bernardo Silva does absolutely brilliantly over there. Out wide. This is a good chance for Wolves, to be honest. Wonderful there, wonderful there. I know it's a corner, but there is Jose Sa also coming up. It's a corner. Remember how our game ended when Wolves, I mean, early on at Wolves' place, Stone score in that last corner. I do not want a repeat now of that. And City have won! Woo! Come on, City. Wolves players arguing. How can you blow? Well, if you want to continue playing, there's a spare ball over there. You can go and play. Another huge step. Was a difficult game. Was a very difficult game. And another huge step towards securing the top five spot. A great step towards securing the top five spot. If I must say, Kevin De Bruyne has scored the goal, but for me, Jeremy Doku is my man of the match. I mean, in fact, not even. What a game! What a wonderful game! Anish is here. He says, "Keep it up. Will reach 1 million subs soon." My faith on might or might not reach Anish, but it's just the fun we have on this community is just superb. The discussions, the fun we have, banter and everything. So even if I don't reach, it's fine. But fun we have here is just superb. Jeremy Doku with an assist, and I think he's been absolutely superb. It's been fantastic. We have been. I mean, it's not the perfect performance. Goals. I think they missed an open goal in the first half. They've struck the post twice. They had a good chance earlier on in the 92nd minute where they put a ball through and the Wolves player could not cross across, and the Wolves player could not get across, and all of those things. But but I just think the incredible thing about this group is even though we were down, I think we fought back. We did not give in. We fought back. Palace 2-0 down. We fought back. Aston Villa. We fought back. I mean, the fighting spirit has been superb. That's the thing that has impressed me the most about this the group in the last 2 3 months. We knew this group had it. City had it, but it was missing this season, especially after the first 1 2 months, and now we can see it. To be honest. Bayaji says weird 1-0 win, but I'll take under the circumstances. Bayaji, like Gautam said, post FC jersey number 22 is the man of the match. The post has been the man of the match against Forest. The post has been the man of the match here. Again, Baiji, the core issue is defensively we were good, I would say. We were very good defensively. Offensively, also we were good. The runners were there. We were dynamic. We were not static and all. Midfield is where, again, when I say midfield, it's not about the creative passes, it's the legs in the midfield. That is why it made Wolves look so much better. I think you put a much more shittier midfield in there. I mean, for example, you put a Conor Gallagher, Morgan Gibbs White, and a Bernardo Silva in there, for example. I think we would have looked much better against this Wolves team. For me, I think the legs in the midfield revamp is the priority. The season, the forward line is set. I know we have to buy a two fullbacks in defense, but apart from that, the defense is set. We are buying Andrea Cambiaso, so I think they'll find room for another left back, and it is set. Midfield is where we have to focus more on. Get words done, get Tijani Reinders or a Morgan Gibbs White done, and get a one more midfielder done. I think that will just be superb. Yeah, like you said, it's a weird 1-0 win, to be honest. JSK says Gundogan's contract shouldn't be extended. I think JSK, you missed a point. If Gundogan City contract is not extended, then Gundogan will not be able to extend the contract of his flat, which I think Pep has given on rent, which means Pep's rental income will go. So Pep has inserted clauses into Gundogan's contract. Gundogan plays certain minutes, then his contract will be extended. So I think Gundogan's contract extension is done. And also there's news, JSK, that Kevin De Bruyne might go Chicago Fire, Chicago Fire are leading the race to sign Kevin De Bruyne. Bayaji says Gundogan was garbage tonight. Bayaji, I think you're disrespecting garbage. You're disrespecting garbage, I think, because he was shit. That is the reason why goals look like prime bloody Jose Mourinho's Chelsea in the midfield. Wolves look so strong in the midfield. They're able to play through us today. That's because, I mean, you have Gundogan and Kovacic in the midfield with Kevin De Bruyne. Your average midfield age is already 32 or 33. What else do you expect? I think, I think if Gundogan plays next season, he is only playing position should be attacking midfield, number 10. From the bench, obviously. I won't say that he should be primary number 10, but from the bench. I do not want to see Gundogan anywhere near box to box in a DM. I don't know why Pep plays him there. Bernardo was excellent tonight, I must say. His work rate, the way he took the ball out of Wolves, intense press. I think Bernardo was very good. JSK says worst situation is pissing me off. We should move on from him and get Cherky. I think with Florian Wirtz, JSK, we are getting an exact replacement of Kevin De Bruyne. I think one thing we need to understand is Ryan Cherky is not the completed product yet, but I think Florian Wirtz is close to that completed product. And the passing range of Ryan Cherky is nowhere near the passing range of Florian Wirtz. I still think Ryan Cherky's best position is not attacking midfield, but it's somewhere out wide or maybe a striker, but generally out wide, somewhere there in the front three. That is where he's the best. But for me, I think Ryan Cherky is our Omar Marmoush, I think. But if you sign Omar Marmoush, I mean Ryan Cherky, I think one of Omar Marmoush or Cherky will play because both are similar kind of players in a lot of things. Both are dynamic across the front three. They show similar attributes. But with Florian Wirtz, you are getting an out and out number 10 who you need to replace KDB. The passing, I think when signing that replacement for KDB, the factors you need to see are the the passing range, the creativity, two of the most important things, positional awareness, because what a lot of people miss underneath KDB is extreme and legendary talent of passing out from, that passing range and executing that long passes, short passes, creativity and all. People miss the positional spatial awareness of KDB. People miss how KDB drifts into spaces where his markers don't want to go into. How often do you see KDB being fouled? Not much, to be honest. So I think no, I'm not personally in favor of Rian Sherky, to be honest. Not at all in favor of signing Rian Sherky. I would rather go for Xavi Simons if we do not get Florian Wirtz. I would go for Xavi Simons, to be honest, because I honestly see only those two options: Xavi Simons and Florian Wirtz. Wirtz is number one, Xavi Simons is number two. Or the left field choice is maybe back Jack Grealish for a season playing in the attacking midfield role. But my question is not on the talents of Jack Grealish. My questions are always on the commitment of Jack Grealish. Do you guys think Jack Grealish has the commitment to his fitness to play that number 10 role for City, playing 3 matches in a week? Almost. That's how brutal the schedule is gonna be. That the concern with Jack Grealish is always fitness, not his talent. If Jack Grealish was much more fitter, he was much more committed. I mean, his personal life is his personal life, but then to become a legendary footballer, you need to sacrifice certain things, which maybe Jack Grealish does not want to do. So, so I think that's what prevents Pep from playing Jack Grealish regularly in that attacking midfield role. JSK says because of Gundogan we are losing McAtee next season. McAtee one will be very very interesting. JSK, I think we are mostly losing him, but we'll see. JSK says, and why the fuck Nico Gonzalez has not played? JSK, it seems that Nico Gonzalez has not yet learned Pep Guardiola's way of playing in the midfield, especially as a CDM. I mean, it took Rodri an year. Only the legendary Fernandino, one of the best DMs to play in the league. If you ask me, the best DM to play in the league was better than Roy Keane and Patrick Vieira. My personal opinion. Fernandino learned it fast. Even he took 3 months to learn it. So I think you at least expect Nico Gonzalez 6-7 months to learn it. So I think that's why Pep is not starting. He started him before because Pep's hand was forced, to be honest. While says two of the four new signings weren't even on the bench. ज्यादा पैसा आ गया है. the the Florian words saga will be the most interesting one, but the confidence for me is Bayaji, the confidence for me is both Titsiki Bagaristan and Hugo Vienna both are doing both are doing the negotiations. So, and Hugo Vienna looks like to be someone who's aggressive. Just pay the money, get him. Unlike bargaining like Tixiki Balgaristan. I don't know what's going on with Kushanov, to be honest. I mean, it's very interesting because I'll buy into the theory that Guardiola, because when I was speaking like this, that Guardiola and Diaz have formed a formidable centre back pair. Nick O'Reilly has been playing excellent at left back. Excuse me. Matthews Nunes has been playing excellent right back, so I thought probably that's why Kushanov is not playing. But a Rusty Akanji in the 86th minute, 85th minute was put in this game ahead of Kushanov. So that raises questions. I know Kushanov was not on the bench, but why was the Rusty Akanji preferred on the bench over a Kushanov who was brilliant? He was our best player since the January transfer window in terms of that defensive stability. He was brilliant against Madrid. So questions. I don't know what's happened between Kushano and Pep. They was exactly by exactly Kushano and Pep ko takla bola. I mean, there was this article. I don't know how true it is. What happened was they say that after training, Pep told to Kushano, uh, Pep told to Kushano, "You're a champion." And we know Kushanov's English is not the best. So Kushanov told to Pep, so Kushanov told to Pep, "Your shampoo." Whereas he meant to tell Pep, you're also champion, but Kushanov told to Pep, "Your shampoo." And Pep thought that Kushanov was talking about his hair, lack of hair and all, and Pep felt bad and all. That I mean, long fake story, but that's what I read in an article. I don't believe it, but a very funny story to be honest. Bayaji says, find it funny when English fans make excuses for Grealish that he isn't there for goal contributions. The fitness, Bayaji, I think at this moment I'm convinced that fitness is the only reason why Jack Grealish has not taken over. I mean, Jack Grealish has everything in him to be the heir to Kevin De Bruyne's throne. His passing range is good, long range passes, how he would give them at Villa, his running, his pressing and everything, but his attitude and his weakness. People might argue, why do you want to care about the personal life of a football player? Well, I think as long as you're playing for the club, it's like we care about it because your personal life obviously affects what's happening when you're out at night till 2 o'clock. It affects how you perform in training and how you perform in the match. So that's the reason we care about it. What's happening in your personal life is we care about it because it affects how you perform. If you're depressed there, the depression will show on the field. So so I think it's I mean, Jack Grealish might be humble and be the best guy around, but it's just that some of his it's a little bit, his commitment is something that little bit is in question. By says comedy of linguistic errors. But I don't know. But I think I'll be I'll be a bit disappointed if Pep plays Guardiola at left back and he benches Nico O'Reilly, because Nico O'Reilly he's not had the best of the games, but he was all right. He had a solid 6 7 in this game, which for a youngster who has been putting in solid nines in every match, this match was a 7 and still good for me, I would say. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for staying with me, and thank you, Gautam, Bayaji, and JSK for Anish and Rajat for coming onto the show. It's been wonderful chatting with you all, guys, and it's been a great win for us and a great start to the weekend. How long ago has it been, Bayaji, that we have started a weekend on such a enjoyable note? हर वीकेंड एवरी वीकेंड में कुछ ना कुछ होता था सिटी के साथ, and it was very bad for me personally. It was even more bad after IPL started. City losing, am I losing? City losing, am I losing? मेरा तो वीकेंड छोड़ो, पूरा पूरा वीक भी खराब हो जाता था. Am I losing? City losing, am I losing? City losing. First 5 matches, am I literally lost everything? We lost 4 matches, I mean, and City also compounding this thing. I don't know why it is when they win, when MI win, City win, and both, then both of them lose. And why it is, but why this is first time I was confident of winning in months. Exactly, I mean, exactly. At least we finish off this May on a good note, and I hope, again, I'm saying that I hope Chelsea wins the Conference League, Spurs wins the Europa League, City win the FA Cup, Liverpool have obviously won the league, and Arsenal bottle top four. Arsenal don't win anything. And Arsenal fans say Arteta is in phase 8 of his development. It would be hilarious if Arsenal bottle top 5 and Spurs qualify for the Champions League by winning the Europa League. The ultimate end to the season. And even the FA Cup, the ultimate end to the season. You could not have asked for a much better ending to the season. That would be wow. Anyway, guys.